Welcome to another edition of Doctor and the Dude. I am Dr. Jim Siebert, and joining me is Josh Morganman, my favorite hurricane hunter. Josh, how's it going today?
It's going awesome, Dr. Jim. Great to be back with you. As always, like I say, I just crossed the minutes to this moment in my game.
I have just as much fun as you do. Hey, now, we all know that hurricane season officially begins on June 1st in the Atlantic Sea Basin, but according to you, it really doesn't get going until August 10th. Explain why that is.
Yeah, and actually, that's according to the statistics. Now, folks should be ready by June 1st. I want to be really clear on that. I'm not saying that folks should not be ready at the official start of the hurricane season. But when you look at the climatology, when you look at the graph of when it's sort of tropical cyclones start to form, it's really not a whole lot on average until around August 10th. And then it goes, and it just shoots straight up. That's when it really gets going. So in terms of the real meat of the season, we're just entering it now because this week is August 10th. And this is when climatologically we expect stuff to really get going.
Well, and it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, the sunshine, the summer heat has just been absorbed by the ocean in the Atlantic Sea Basin all this time, you know, whether it's the Caribbean, the Bahamas, the Gulf of Mexico, even the North Atlantic, everything continues to get warm, and somehow that energy is going to get released. So the question is, when are we going to start to see that change? Because right now, things still have been kind of quiet.
Yeah, when you look at the computer models, we're not getting a clear handle on any major developments. One thing I will say, when you look at them overall, when you look at the GFS and the Euro and the ensemble models, they're not fixing on any particular solution. They're not showing like, okay, one big storm developing. There's a lot of sort of irregularity from run to run. But what you see in general is more what I call fertility. You're seeing them spinning things up. So I think they're starting to sense that we're getting into a zone where we are going to have activity. And of course, we're watching that thing in the far eastern Atlantic off the coast of Africa. Dr. Jim, what do you think about that? I noticed it looked like the Hurricane Center is maybe a little less bullish about it now.
Well, earlier in the week, they thought it had a better chance of organizing, but now it's been dropping in that intensity level. And I think a lot of that has to do with the upper level winds are going to be stronger out into the Atlantic, open Atlantic, which I would expect to see. And of course, this time of year, when we're tracking those systems coming right off of Africa, this is kind of key for us here in the U.S. When it starts to turn right quickly off of Africa, that usually is a pretty good sign for us that it's going to continue to take that right-hand turn. What we want to watch now for those long ones, and again, we're talking about storms that would be 10 days to almost 2 weeks out, when it takes that straight line across the Atlantic, then we know that it's kind of moving in a direction that could go either towards the Caribbean, towards the Bahamas. It could go just about anywhere. So at this point, the fact also that this system was turning to the right I would say it was good news, but it was something that was favorable for us. Now, Josh, I have an interesting question for you. Now, earlier in the week, on our live edition of Doctor and the Dude, one of the Facebook followers asked a very important question, and they asked, for you and me, what is our favorite go-to snack when we're going to be covering a hurricane? What is yours?
I'm a big eater. I'm an athlete, and I have an enormous appetite, except when I'm hunting hurricanes. Then I don't know. It's like I guess I'm in hunt mode or something, or competing mode. But I'm just not hungry. So for me, the challenge when I'm on the trail hunting a hurricane is to just how do I keep my appetite up? How do I eat? I just pretty much have to force myself, and then it's whatever's around. And I usually go for non-perishable stuff. That is not going to get me sick in any way. So it's usually a lot of nuts and crackers. I know that's a really boring answer, but that's what it is for me. I usually lose weight on chases.
That doesn't surprise me because you're busy and things are happening. Now, I've probably taken a different tack. Now, I used to be a triathlete. I competed for more than 15 years. It doesn't look like that anymore. And now, my favorite, no, I'm telling you that so you understand my favorite go-to is my Hurricane Twinkies. Without my Twinkies, I don't know, it's not a real hurricane. And if anybody ever comes to my office, they know that not only is it Twinkies, but like right now, for example, I have cookies, I have Nilla wafers. I mean, I'm stocked up for hurricane season because see, for me, I'm going to be here at the station. And so I have to have my stuff here ready for me. And so that's, I guess, the way that I get ready for the storms is my Hurricane Twinkies.
Okay, I am coming to the WeatherNation headquarters to stage an intervention, a Category 5 intervention. I'm going to clean that office out and put some sensible choices.
Look, you say that, but I guarantee it. You would find something that you would like, and you would start eating it. You'd say, this is the best thing ever. All right, let's get back to hurricanes for just a little bit. So we were talking about how the GFS, it shows, in the European as well, and the other models, have been showing signs of things trying to spin off. Like we have these fronts that have been coming off the U.S., and typically what happens, a cold front comes through. At the very end of that front, spinning can happen in the atmosphere, and the GFS says, hey, yeah, that could happen, and then the next model runs, it's gone. And so our confidence right now is not high in anything that we're seeing, at least at this point anyway, which at this point means that we're not really expecting anything to happen now. But that's probably going to change, don't you think so, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up that kind of, we're talking, it's funny in this talk, we've sort of talked about the two opposite kinds of hurricanes. They're the ones that form off the coast of Africa and they come all the way across the ocean. And they're often these epic impacts. Those are called Cape Verde hurricanes. And then the other kind are the kind that could just form at the tail end of a rotting front in the Gulf of Mexico. A good example was Alicia in 1983, which smashed Texas. That was just the end of a front that just sat there and festered and developed. And those are hard to call in advance. They can sometimes just spin up.
You are exactly right. And so that means we just have to keep watching. I'm going to keep watching it. We'll keep watching it together. We're out of time. We'll see y'all next time.